Tourists view Mount Hood as a majestic peak in the Cascade Mountains near Portland, Oregon. But to water managers, this mountain and others throughout the West make a major contribution to western snowpacks, which melt every spring and flow into streams, rivers, and reservoirs.
The water generated here from the melting snow is the lifeblood, truly, of this part of the country. The uses and the needs for that water continue to grow. So the data that we collect is very critical.
The data that helps determine how much water will be available and when comes from snow surveys conducted by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Natural Resources Conservation Service and cooperators. They operate a network of more than 650 snow-tel or snow telemetry sites throughout the West and Alaska.
These stations are basically our eyes and ears out in the woods. They tell us what's happening every day up here.
The solar-powered sites transmit data such as precipitation, snow water content, temperature, and wind speed from their remote locations. Other measurements are taken by snow surveyors.
Transportation modes to get to the stations may vary from using snowshoes to coming in on a snowmobile, oftentimes using the big snowcats when we fly to quite a few places as well. We're sitting on a snowpack right now. It's about 40 inches of snow water, and this is just being stored here until it runs off a little bit later into the season.
Among those who depend on the data are farmers and irrigation water managers.
If, for instance, we find via the snow-tel sites that the snowpack is real low, then we would actually notify growers and tell them there may be reductions in flow, such that they might be able to adjust their practices.
Snow-tel data also helps planners of recreation, power generation, community, and environmental activities keep this precious commodity flowing. Pat O'Leary reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. For more than 60 years, farmers have been relying on data from U.S. Department of Agriculture snow surveys, measurements of western snowpack taken in the winter by USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service and cooperators help forecast available water for irrigation in the spring.
If we don't get the water in the spring to start the irrigation, then we have to start pumping from the well a lot earlier, which drives the cost up.
70 to 80% of that available water all originates from the snow that you see around you. The snow surveys here tell us how much of that lifeblood we'll have.
But others depend on that lifeblood as well: recreation and community planners, river traffic and environmental managers, hydroelectric power plants, and flood control facilities.
That information is extremely important to our operations in managing all these conflicting demands for water.
Last year, snow survey indications of the heaviest snow cover in half a century at Oregon's Crater Lake raised fears of flooding.
We did adjust our operations of refilling the reservoirs, and we delayed that by a whole month in order to compensate for the potential large runoff that might occur from a record-breaking snowpack.
And in 1996, people and property downstream from Scoggins Dam in Oregon were protected.
Knowing exactly how much snow was up there and that it had all melted, we brought the reservoir to within 1/100th of a foot of full. The impact from flooding was greatly reduced by our being able to store right up to the very top.
The internet has made water supply forecasting quite a bit easier, and we put these products up on the National Water and Climate Center homepage, and our state counterparts also take this data and put up on their web pages.
Western water ends up in river systems serving nearly 2/3 of the nation, including America's fastest growing areas. Pat O'Leary reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Splashy shows, sensational skiing, fruitful farms, healthy habitats, even clean cars. They all depend on wise management of water. In the western 2/3 of the nation, most of the water is stored in mountain snowpacks until the spring snowmelt.
And our role is to measure that and to give decision makers enough information so they can make wise decisions.
Each winter, snow surveys are performed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Natural Resources Conservation Service and cooperators. Regular reports and continuous monitoring from remote snow-tell sites help forecast the timing and availability of water for a variety of uses.
We use the snow-tell information on a regular basis each day. It really helps in snowmaking where the weather changes by the moment, and avalanche control.
The snow survey information is a very important planning tool in allowing the tribe to start preparation for the agricultural season and also for the migration of the fish. The kiwi is on the endangered species list as a threatened species.
Las Vegas is very concerned about how much water there is because of the enormous growth we have. Las Vegas is growing at a gross rate of 7,000 to 9,000 people moving in per month.
Las Vegas, like other large western communities dependent on stored stream flows, is experiencing increasing demands on its water supply and a growing need for conservation and efficiency.
The Southern Nevada Water Authority uses our snow survey to predict groundwater. The water downtown, the ponds, the artificial lakes, are not only there for the tourists and their entertainment, but it's part of the fire safety program for the casinos. And that water is reuse water.
The amount of water hasn't changed, but the use has. And our role is to provide enough information so that they can adjust to make water go further.
Pat O'Leary reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.